You know how they have those before and after pictures in those Weight Watchers commercials? Before picture. There's nowhere to go but up. Hey guys, so it's around that time of year whenever high school seniors and even some high school juniors are starting to look into colleges, and so I thought I would make my first official video of a real talk about picking the right university for you and what goes into the whole process. I've comprised a list of 10 things that I have found most important when picking a college. Number one being its location. You don't want to go to a college that's in the middle of nowhere. Well, maybe you do, I don't know. Maybe location is important to you, but maybe you want to go in your home state, or you want to go out of state, or you want to study, study abroad out of the country. So definitely whenever you're looking into colleges, that should definitely be, I think, one of your first things that you think about is the location of your university. My university is in Waco, Texas. I'm from Texas, so I wanted to go to school in state, but to a school that wasn't too close to home. Waco is in the absolute middle of nowhere. Not really. What I like about Waco is that even though Waco is boring, it's an hour and a half from Dallas and it's an hour and a half from Austin. So I really like that. Second thing you're going to want to consider, is it public or private? Because I personally believe that it does make a difference. I think it makes a difference in the type of education that you get there usually. Also in the types of financial aid available. State schools are funded by the state, so they may not be able to get as much money or different types of money or be able to give you other kinds of money because all their money is coming from the state. Whereas a private school, all their money comes from other donors and people, alumni, people that went to the school before. If you go to a private school, you're more likely to get, more like personal scholarships and stuff from the school. I think that that's really important. You definitely want to consider whether you want to go to a public or a private school. Why am I so itchy? Third thing you're going to want to consider is the majors available. You want to know, kind of in high school, you don't have to know exactly what you want to do, and your ideas may completely change once you get to college. But I think it's important to, have somewhat of an idea of what you think you might want to study in college, and then you're going to want to look into universities that have that program and are well established in that program. I am studying psychology. I know that Baylor is a really good science and health school, so I felt really confident going into Baylor that I would get a good psychology education there. I don't know the statistic, but it seems like 50-60% of the students at Baylor are pre-med, so they have a lot of good people in the health department to help you, with anything in that sort of field. Fourth thing you're going to want to consider is the cost. Going to school can be very expensive, especially if you go to a private school over a public school. That is one of the downsides. However, if you start planning ahead early enough, you may be able to avoid getting into thousands and thousands of dollars of debt for years and years. First thing you're going to want to do is fill out your FAFSA. It's the free application for financial student aid. I think that's what it stands for. Anybody can fill it out. It's online, FAFSA.gov. I guess I'll link it in the description box below, so you can go and fill out your FAFSA if you haven't yet. Better to fill it out ASAP. They come out on January 1st of every year, and you can either fill it out for that current year if you're in school, or you can fill it out for the next year. If you're a high school senior this year, you'd want to fill it out for the 2013-2014 school year, and I would do that as soon as possible because they're giving you free money, and since everyone wants free money, the money goes pretty quickly. Another thing you're going to want to look into is scholarships. There's scholarships for everything. There's scholarships for people with 4.0s, for valedictorians, for Hispanics, for tall people, for short people, for women. There are no scholarships for white men. But definitely look into scholarships, and grants work the same way, Third thing you're going to want to look into is student loans. So you can get loans from the school or from the government, There's different ways to get loans from different people. Definitely make loans a last option because you do not want to owe people money if you don't have to. But if it comes to that point, definitely look into student loans because people can be very generous and willing to give you money to raise the next generation of educators and scientists and that kind of thing. Fifth thing you're going to want to consider is the size of the campus and the population of the people. Is the campus big? Is the campus small? What do you really care about as far as the size of the campus and how many people go there, Is it a small campus but there's a lot of people, the high density, that would be I feel like that'd be kind of awkward. So, definitely think about, do you want to go to a big school or do you want to go to a small school, and do you want a lot of people there or not? My school has a total population of about 15,000 people, and I like that personally because I don't want to go to a school that, that's about 1,000 people, but I don't want to go to a school that's 50,000 people either. So for me, that 15,000 is about the right size for me in the campus. It's a small campus with a big campus feel, it's small and it has a lot, but it has a lot to offer. So things like that, you want to consider those things whenever you're looking into a college to apply for. That kind of leads into my sixth thing. You're going to want to look into the campus. Is the campus, is it beautiful? Is it you know, the size that you want? Is there a lot to do on campus? You know, like, what's the architecture like? The architecture at Baylor is so pretty. I love, like, half the buildings are made of like this really pretty, like, red stone brick looking, and I really like that. I think that Baylor is really beautiful. If the way the campus looks isn't important to you, then, you know, you can just skip this step. For me, I definitely cared about, you know, like, how pretty the university was that I was paying to go to was, you know, like, if I'm paying money to go there, I want to be able to live in an environment that, you know, that looks nice. Something you're going to want to look into is financial aid. I kind of mentioned this with the cost. You know, financial aid is going to be your biggest tool in succeeding through school. Unless you just have, you know, like, money to throw out of nowhere, you're definitely going to want to look into what different kinds of money you can get in order to keep you in school to get you a degree. Financial aid is very, very important. I cannot stress that enough. A thing you're going to want to look into is the student activities on campus. You know, like, what is there to do, you know, on campus? What programs can you join? Do you want to join a sorority or a fraternity? You know, you want to think about those things. Does the school that you're going to have what you think you would consider to be enjoyable? I am in 2 clubs right now. I am in the JSA, which is the Japanese Student Association on campus. I'm not Japanese, but I'm studying Japanese and I love Japanese. Everything Japanese. And I'm also in something called the Sing Alliance. It's kind of like a big glee club. They do productions and musicals and stuff. Getting a phone call from my mom. Hello. Hi. I think you're going to want to look into whenever you're picking a college is the city life. You know, what is there to do in the city, or, you know, cities surrounding you? Are there fun things to do? My university happens to be located in Waco. Waco's not that fascinating. There's a few things to do, like there's a zoo, and the Dr. Pepper Museum is there because, if you guys didn't know, Waco is where Dr. Pepper was founded. So, you're welcome. Dr. Pepper is in your lives because of us. But like I mentioned before, Dallas and Austin are both only an hour and a half away, so I think San Antonio is pretty close too. You know, definitely looking at like what's close to you or what's around the cities near you. And number 10, the last thing that you need to consider when picking a college or university is the reputation of the people there. I think that this is very, very important. You definitely want to be in an environment where people are accepting of whoever you are, you know. Whatever your thing may be, you want to find people that, you know, that respect that and that care for you about that. I go to a private Christian school, and even though I myself have been Christian, that is why I decided to go there. I think that non-Christians can go to a Christian school because I think that even if you're not Christian, you can at least appreciate the Christian environment because people tend to be, you know, nicer, and there's just generally a more upbeat, loving feel around the campus. You know, that's what I've come to find so far, at least. You might want to take that into consideration whenever you're picking a school. So that is my list of 10 things that you want to consider whenever picking a college or university. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and tell your friends. And until next time, stay awesome.